Morning. So I had the most wild thing happen yesterday. I say wild because these things don't normally happen to me on blockchains. Normally I have really bad experiences on blockchains. Either I don't find my tribe, or I don't necessarily find the people that I gravitate towards that I could kind of hang with. Maybe because they're in a different life area than me, or they're younger than me. It's very difficult to find your people unless somebody's invited you to a blockchain and they're already on it. There's a few people like that on other chains that I frequent. I don't use them as much because I feel like I felt kind of vilified and a little bit cancelled from it, so I kind of just moved on from it. And other platforms like YouTube, you can't really have a community until you've got lots and lots of followers who might join in your live stream, or you've brought them across from Twitch to YouTube. So yeah, it's and decentralized video is even worse than just normal blogging, because you've got people hosting video, but then it's not connected to a community as such. There's kind of alternative communities that kind of hang around on the periphery of decentralized video hosting, but it's kind of an awkward node thing. You know, you want the technology because you want to move away from centralized platforms and AdSense and the centralized nature of the corporation just making money off adverts that sit on top of your content that you didn't decide to have, to using IPFS and decentralizing your video and being more in control of that, using something like Sky and paying $5 a month for, you know, a terabyte of decentralized hosting on the Sia blockchain. That gives me control over my content. It's very difficult to get a cease and desist for a piece of content, although I'm sure there is a process that can be done. I just don't know if what that is. I don't know who you, there's no centralized authority that you can approach on Sia to say, I want this particular hash taken down. I don't know how that operates, but if anybody has any information on that, of cases where somebody's done that, I'd be interested in finding out. Anyway, let's get on to the topic of yesterday, why things were so awesome. So here's an interesting perspective of why even bother creating video content on the web, right? So I went down the rabbit hole of looking at the infrastructure that runs behind Twitch, and ended up finding out that it was Bitcoin BSV. And if you've been in crypto for any period of time, you'll know that there's lots of different forks of Bitcoin out there. And I never really entertain, or I'm interested in getting involved with any of that stuff. I find it kind of like a lot of drama. Now, I understand why people, you know, want to stick to the original vision of something and won't support forks or different directions of, or different thoughts from a group of people who believe something should be something else. We have these little factions like pop up in crypto of people who believe and follow certain, you know, people who become almost mini celebrities in their own right for the way that they either look at life, or their ethics, or the way that a white paper should have been, and therefore you got to, you know, the purists that want to be pure on it. Personally, for me, I'm not bothered about any of that stuff. I'm interested in, does it do what it can say it can do? So from a microtransactions point of view, to send something to somebody else near on instantaneously at low fees, better than a centralized solution, of course I'm interested. I don't want to continue to spend my life waiting in a car park after filling in bits of pieces of paper to send money via Western Union. We have come a long fucking way, if you really think about it. So one of the things that I have been experimenting and playing around with Twitch and BSV was, I really like the look of NFTs on BSV, and I started to see that when they had their own marketplace pop up. And because I've been frequenting and using Twitch, I got lucky and ended up with one of their NFT eggs. I think there's only like 2,000 of them in existence, and there's 5,000 or 6,000, 50 or 60,000 people using BSV. Probably more, I don't know, but I'm just going on numbers of user numbers, and I've seen people in the 40s and the 50,000s. So that was pretty cool. That kind of piqued my interest a little bit. Now I could have sold it for a couple of $100 and took my money out and put it into another crypto, or put it into fiat, and done what I wanted to do with it. But I feel like the early days of something, digital NFT legacy, is kind of an interesting area that it's brand new, really. It's a bit like owning, I don't know, a first edition Millennium Vulcan, right? Brand new, in the box, never been touched. If you hold on to that for a period of time, make sure it doesn't get knocked about and the box is in good condition, chances are you're going to sell that for a lot more money in 10 years time. So I think most people, your average Joe, can understand that idea, and we just apply that to digital. So like a digital card, time stamped, I bought it at this time from this person and stored that on a immutable blockchain. Now there's a bit of back and forth in terms of if it really is immutable or not, and if the destination of that image host ever falls over, then it kind of disappears. So there's a few bits and pieces in NFT that need to change a little bit for it to be solid, but I feel like that will happen just because of the way that things have advanced in technological like expressions of being able to send money about. Anyway, so one of the things I really liked was that there's this great little marketplace called relayx, and I was pumped to like try and get hold of one of the first NFTs that came out. So this is not the first one, but there was a third one that was going to be released, and they put the time and the link, and you know, these are Twetch ones. If I bring you up the marketplace, there's 3 by this one particular artist, a well-known artist, and they're all poo-poos, not poo-poos, pew-pews. relayx, streamanity, somebody told me the right way to say it the other day, and Twetch. Now the first one to came out, obviously that one did really, really well, and then the streamanity, that one has started to pick up, and then the Twetch one, the last one they did, that price is slowly like rising now. But the reason why I wanted to get hold of one of these NFTs on BSV rather than something like I don't know, all these other NFT sites you can think of, is that I had more chance of getting hold of one of these, buying one of these, because they started off at a really, really low price. So I was gutted when, and you can go and watch my other video, but I was gutted when I missed out on the experience of getting this NFT. I physically looked at the price and it was $45. It'd gone from $9 to $45, and I couldn't get my money across into just a UI UX like before coffee headspace thing. And so yesterday I got a DM, and I would have only got this DM as well, by the way, because I paid for the $9.99 unlock for the encrypted wallet in Twetch. Not because of this, like literally weeks ago I was like, I want to support BSV, I want to put a bit of money into their upcoming features, which is a really nice thing about BSV. If you want to see features on their platform, you can actually tip a little bit of BSV to get those things delivered. So here we've got, you know, a fully paid out transaction history, rolling addresses, mute Twitch users, like there's a whole bunch of these things that have already been paid for. So buying into the platform by spending money here is just a no-brainer for me, because if I'm going to use it, then I might as well pay for the features, because I know the money's going back into a pool that is used to maintain the infrastructure but to build on the features to it. So I was super damn surprised yesterday when I got a DM from somebody saying our lead developer, or the CEO, or somebody high up anyway in relayx, had seen my video and said, was kind of gutted for me that I didn't get it, and so went ahead and picked me up one of the originals of the relayx and forwarded it to me. So I actually have number 78 of 100 of the relayx, and right now the price is at $488. Yesterday it was actually $618. So there's only 100 of these that have been minted, if you like. Now you're probably thinking, well, just sell it, just sell the money and just, you know, keep the BSV, and the BSV, you know, will go up, or hold it in your wallet, or diversify it, whatever. But this is my first NFT, and it's one of 100, and I know there's 50,000 people that use the platform. So to me, it makes more sense to hold on to it and to go through the experience of what it's like to be a digital NFT owner. So first of all, I'm absolutely unbelievable, super pumped about it that this Liam guy, Liam at 77, has got a really, really low username on Twitch, and his boss, or somebody he works with, Jack, reached out to me and made this happen. So I ended up with this thing, and it just came instantly. As soon as he got my like details for relayx, which I think is just like he needed this mouse at relayx.io, and then he gifted that over to me as a collectible, and then I can, you know, send it to somebody else, or I could sell it if I want to sell it. So that was a incredible experience to finish the end of the week like on a Sunday with just an NFT that I didn't expect. And something weird that happened is that, you know, you can play around with all these other blockchains, but unless you become integrated into these communities, unless you're playing with the tools, unless you're experiencing it, unless you're digging deeper into this stuff, you'll never find out what's happening. It's just being in the right place at the right time, and more so with digital than any other time. Like, you can literally wake up and your world can be like flipped upside down and just changed in a moment, because these things move incredibly fast. And I think it's one of the reasons why I don't make so many courses or try and keep up with people on this, because I don't want people to come back to me and say, oh well, this has changed now. Well, yeah, things change quickly in these spaces. Nothing is concrete, nothing is the gold standard. Like, a technology is absorbed and molded and shaped, and then tomorrow it's a transformation of that. You only have to look at like blockchains like Solana and things, and BS, you know, the Binance Smart Chain, to see how trying to bring out a iterative version of it that lowers the price of the transaction fees ends up with more people trading. You know, there's just little tweaks that people are doing, and you're literally corralling the eyeballs from one platform into another platform. So I was super pumped about it. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. I feel like my video that I put up was just me like spitting from the heart about the experience. I wasn't trying to like have a go at the platform, even though the last one, this one, the Art on Chain, I literally sat on the page at exactly the right time, and I just had a white page for 30 minutes and then refreshed after 30 minutes, and the price was like $400. I was like, damn it, I missed out again. So to get the first generation one, the first one that went up, is super cool. So now I'm even more hyped about BSV and super invested, because I feel like the community has been super supportive of my BSV videos, and that says to me that they need more people talking about BSV, and they need more influencers, they need more people chatting about it. So I even had somebody reach out to me and ask me if we want to do like a video show or audio show about it, and I've been a bit hesitant to do it because I'm normally like a one-man band with this stuff. I've been a one-man band for so long that it's really difficult for me to change that or like shape around stuff. Also, I tried to be less kind of like, I want to say the word confrontational or argumentative, but I think we get lost in the details of this stuff, which stops the general public coming in. We get so like obsessed with making sure people know that this was the original and that was the original and we do it better than everybody else, or we're first, that it tends to turn a lot of people off, because actually what they really want is they want something to be faster and cheaper. And so I think there's a lot of work that can be done there to open this stuff up to the general public if they can see the benefit, if we can communicate the benefit really quickly. Another few things I wanted to go through this week. So there's a few other things on the relayx site that if you dig deeper into, you can find a lot more like value and information in there. So what I tend to do with these is I tend to like pick one. So that NPC, for instance, if I wanted to know something about this NPC token, I can actually go to the info and I can click on the white paper and go across and read the white paper and find more information about it. I happen to know that this is a token that Isaac Morehouse, I think, made with maybe with a group of other people, for which empowers their streamanity. Fucking hell, it's going to be difficult to get right. It supports their show, and what they're doing is they've got a pot, I believe, of money that, you know, the more people who buy the token that it goes into, and I think there's some kind of BSV price matching at some point, and then anybody who's a holder of this NC or this numpty coin will end up being able to trade that for BSV at a certain point. It's all in the white paper, but that's kind of how I find more information about these tokens. I mean, what's crazy about cryptos now in like year 4 or 5 is we have these marketplaces, right, where, you know,
Binance Smart Chain's got a ton of tokens, and then Solano's got a ton of tokens, and then BSV's got a ton of tokens. So even though on CoinGecko we've got like 6,000-7,000 cryptocurrencies, then you've got the tokens underneath those exchanges. It's insane to try and keep up with. So I tend to go from the perspective of, what do I use? What would I like to use? How do I want to invest my time? In what communities, for what value? And then find out what people are trying to do as a kind of smart contract expression of that. And there's some really, really interesting ones on BSV, and I think that's why I'm still around after like 2 or 3 weeks of diving into this stuff. What else did I want to talk about today? I want to talk about quickly a couple more sites that I'd found on BSV. I haven't dug deep into these yet, but I wanted to remark on something that I think should be a priority for BSV or BSV little websites. I think now's the time. Now there's a bit of momentum back in the ecosystem. Now is the time to start putting together mock-ups or frameworks or hack day weekends for reskinning all of these things. The bare bones of what they're trying to do is here, but it now needs to level up a little bit to start looking like the centralized stuff. Because I think if it starts looking like familiar stuff that people look at every day, the Spotify's of this world, then I think people will forgive, you know, the graphic design or the layout stuff if it looks a little bit more cleaner. So Caster.fm is like a podcasting host, so you can put up your podcast. Here's one with Isaac. I haven't actually clicked through on this. I don't know how this works, but it looks like it's got a HTML5 audio embed in here, and you can follow. So I'm going to click on follow. I think I'm already logged in. I can download it and I can purchase it. Now, I don't know how that works. If I click on download, do I have to pay for it? It looks like I can just grab it straight away. So I don't know what the purchase thing is for. Is that me to just like give him a tip by clicking on here? Like, what's that do? Swipe to purchase. So it just uses the money button. I'll chuck him. I'm already logged in. I shouldn't have to do this. All right, I already have an account. Let's do that. That's going to bounce me back. Did I log in or not? I don't know. Paying. I just paid him 25 cents. Just like that. Like, super easy. Fast turnaround. I'll get an update now on hand cash that I made a payment. Super quick. That's kind of how fast you want crypto to be. So I haven't even listened to it, and I give you a tip. So there you go. Another thing that I think could be nice if it was restreamed is Streamanity. Streamanity could look really good. Not as good as Odyssey, but I think you could get it up to the quality of Odyssey. I love Odyssey because I can upload a video on YouTube. They automatically sync it to Odyssey. I earn some coins for it, which I can trade on CoinGecko if I want to. Wouldn't advise it right now. It's very cheap. I would sit on it for 6 or 12 months. And I can also put the same video from YouTube or upload to IPFS or SIA onto DTube, which is a decentralized version of YouTube. And you can see I've got a DTC balance, and I've also got a voting power balance, which goes up based on how much DTC I'm holding. So this gradually recharges, and I decide how much VP I want to put on my video every time I upload into DTube, and then I can just claim that after 7 days, or I can not claim it and that video can continually earn like upvotes if people upvote it. So for instance, I'll give you an example. Maybe I would do a video about DTube. Maybe it's an hour long or 2 hours long, and it's a tutorial from, you know, how to get started to how to get the most out of it. I could leave that open for a year so people can continually vote on it, because it's going to be a relevant video, rather than me just take out the DTC in 7 days time and add it to my balance. Obviously it's kind of working out the long tail of it. Is it worth it, or is it better to just do it in the short term, add it to my DTC to recharge my VP? And you use your VP, like I said, to get higher up on trending videos and get more exposure. I think DTube is going to go somewhere in the next couple of years, but we'll get onto that. This is actually powered by the Avalon blockchain. It started its life on Steem and Hive, but they moved away onto building out their own blockchain. If you haven't played around with DTube, I suggest you have a quick look at that. So yeah, I think Streamity with a makeover could look really great. You can see here I put up a video about further exploring. I ended up with $2.50 from 5 people who paid to watch the continuation after 5 minutes. Suggests to me that people are interested in seeing what's out there in the BSV ecosystem.
Another thing that I realized this weekend in playing with Relica, if you're looking for a decentralized alternative to like Instagram, I would heartily recommend you take a look at Relica on BSV, because one thing that just hit me this weekend is that this is a continual earning platform. It's not like something that happens after 7 days where it gets unlocked. If I continue to keep onboarding people, you can see here I've got a referral amount coming in and the amount that's earned coming in, the income from likes and comments and favorites. If I keep on adding people into the platform, I get 50% of any revenue of people who sign up through my link. So it's a continual, the bigger I get on all of these platforms from Twitch or Relica, the more chance that just being involved in the ecosystem will bring me some kind of income. Now, I'm not saying go on there and just spam to death, because that's not what people want. I would love to see Relica bolt in something like Sea Sky for picture hosting, because right now it's centralized in terms of Amazon, but they're starting to do some very interesting things. If you dig through Relica's images, for instance, you will find somewhere they had one. Well, I'm not even looking at that thing. Let me just get onto a thing. If I click onto their wall, you can see here they've got like a like to unlock. Gotcha, but seriously, this is coming soon. The idea that I can put up content that can be unlocked for a certain fee is very appealing to me, especially if we're starting to do video on Relica as well. Also, from a social media perspective, events, geolocation events, being able to do like treasure hunts using Relica and being able to say like, all right, for $5 you get this pass, and then just like behind the unlock there's like a video or a picture or a map. You could build something really, really exquisite around, I don't know, 6th Street in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest using this, and I think that could be a really good marketing thing to get BSV a bit more exposure. I need to manipulate it a little bit in my head and get it sorted. But some other things that I found is, and this I found from Isaac again, the KYRT net easy blockchain integration. So you probably all heard about Zapier and various tools like that, you know, IFTTT, where you can link one site to another site to track an action and then react to that action. Maybe you're taking a form and you're taking the data and putting it into a spreadsheet. You can get tools to do automated actions on that. And I would say actually anybody using digital tools online, anybody who's got these automations in place, know how much time it actually saves you to do it. So what if you could do this, a similar thing, offer services like that, but bolt in to the infrastructure of BSV? And that's kind of what they're doing with this platform. So really easy to set up, simple, scalable, simplified and easy to use SDK and API. So right now they've got Zapier already ready to go, and it looks like they've got Google Cloud. And the main thing about this is it's a blockchain as a service, so you can write data, read data, and then you can do your BSV micropayments. So they've got a working version with Zapier. I'm more interested in this Integro mat because I think that's cheaper than Zapier. And they've already got a kit for Node.js. So if you're comfortable with Node.js, this could be a interesting thing to get into, to plug in. Maybe you got a little project and you're looking to do micropayments. Maybe you just want to plug in the micropayments part to be able to take BSV payments for, I don't know, something that a digital product that you're selling. Maybe you want to become your own little Gumroad or something. And the pricing is not that bad actually for a starter pack with 750 credits. I don't know how many credits per API call it is, but it's very, very cheap. 0.05 cents a credit, and then there's 0 fees on the micropayments. So kind of interesting to dig deeper into this. I guess I really need to read up as to what's possible with the system, and then I guess I need to play around with just mocking up the idea and then seeing how this no coding skills element works for plugging in thousands of existing apps that are already out there, and then then maybe mailing the guys and say, is it possible to be able to do this, this and this? So I'm thinking maybe you can do authentication on it, maybe store like user details, and then being able to like trade by sending things back and forth, people paying for digital products, maybe something like an ebook, or unlocks like audio and music. Not that there isn't other ones already out there with like Streamanity and Caster, and there's also like the Bitcoin, there's like a bit page thing that I was playing with, the blog. But I'm kind of interested with this because I think people from centralized platforms are looking for cheaper payment systems. They'd be super surprised about how cheap BSV is. Last two things today is I got to mention this site, the morning.run. Kind of gives me Prohibition vibes. I don't know why. Maybe it's the font they used. It's very kind of like cowboy newspaper 1912, you know, expecting somebody to drive by with like Tommy guns outside of it. It's kind of like I don't know, it's got a vibe. It's definitely got a vibe, and I'm here for it. But there's a listing of these are the things that you can find over on relayx, the tokens. But I like the presentation of this. I guess what they're trying to say with the morning run, they're kind of like making a newspaper for the alternative cryptos that are being sold over on relayx, and you can see the volumes and the price and how many transaction records are happening, so you can get a good idea of where money's flowing into on BSV tokens from this page, better than looking at something like relayx, because you've got to go through each one of the tokens and see if there's any volume or any orders. I think this is better to look at it. So this is a place that I'm starting to add to my daily list of sites to look at. And the final thing I wanted to show you is I don't know how recent or used these platforms are. That's another thing I will say about BSV, is that there seems to be plenty of little web apps that people have just built. Maybe they've just looked into the development code and just decided to spin something up really quick. I would love to see a show where they pull together 4 or 5 of the coders behind these projects and see what they need. See if it's a stagnant project. Do they need support? Do they need ideas? Do they need people to test it? Is it just a case that people are not using it enough? And how do we refresh everything for a new marketplace of people finally getting into crypto because of stupid stuff like Doge? Not that I'm having to go at Doge. I mean, it's script language. It's Litecoin at the end of the day. I've always got a love for Litecoin, but yeah, it kind of devalues, I think, the whole cryptoverse when you see stupid stuff like Doge happen. But anyway, check this out. Your comment remains on the blockchain forever using Qualament, I don't know how to say these names. Qualament responsibly. So there's a bunch of different apps that I want to test out. I keep on finding ones every week. This one is the one I think I'm going to concentrate on this week. So I'll probably report back to you at the end of the week if I played with this, how I got it working, how it can be used, and maybe some ideas of how you could integrate this from centralized business into a decentralized business and take lower fee payments, instant payments, no waiting a week or 2 weeks or a month to get your payments from your clients. Get paid instantly into a digital wallet, and then if you want to, you can turn that into fiat or something else. I wouldn't recommend it because I think BSV is probably going to go up to $1,000 within the next couple of months, but that's just me. That's my opinion. Could be wrong. It's not financial advice and all that. All right, I will catch up with you soon. Have a great day. Busy week ahead for me. I have birthdays and real life TM stuff to do, so I'll catch up with you soon.